What's going on, guys? Love Smash, back with an all new video for you guys, and in today's video I wanted to discuss the last two remaining spots on the Street Fighter V core roster. And there's been a lot of debate and a lot of speculation between the fans, so I want to give my thoughts on the whole situation, give you a few characters who I think could take up those final spots, and go over some other stuff as well. Now, we know the core roster is going to consist of 8 classic Street Fighter characters that you expect to see in a Street Fighter game, 4 returning characters that you haven't seen in a long time, and 4 newcomers. Now, as far as that goes, we already know 14 out of the 16 characters confirmed. We have 7 of the classic characters, so we're just waiting on 1 more of those. We have the 4 returning characters that haven't been seen in a long time, and we also have 3 out of the 4 newcomers. So before we get into the whole classic character debate, I wanted to talk about that last remaining newcomer. Now, if you guys are unaware of this, but I'm sure you do know about it, because this rumor, leak, whatever you want to call it, has been going around ever since December of last year. And on this list, it featured a ton of information, which a lot of which has since then come true, and on this list of stuff, it featured the names of 3 newcomers, one by the name of Rashid, the other by the name of Laura, and finally a character by the name of Zen. Now, we know Rashid and Laura have already been confirmed, we know they're in the game, so based on all the information that has come true on this list, along with the names of the 2 newcomers, so it is really difficult to argue with this. So I do believe that Zen will be this final newcomer. Now, with this, there were also 3 locations listed on this leak. One was Africa, one was India, and one was Brazil. Now, we know that Laura is from Brazil, Rashid is actually from Saudi Arabia, even though a lot of fans thought he was going to be from Africa, and many fans were speculating that Zen could be from India. So maybe these weren't so much locations of where the characters were from, maybe these were just like stages that are going to be in the game. But if Zen is really from India, this could possibly mean that we could be getting him revealed next month in November. Now, the reason I bring this up is because there is an Indian Gaming Expo taking place this November that was just recently announced in Mumbai. So, if Zen is going to be revealed, this could be the time. It was stated that we are going to get newcomers over the next few months, as it was stated in this article from Shuriken, where through a translator, Ono stated that the 4th new character will be introduced sometime within the next 2 months. So maybe this Indian game show is when we can see Zen get revealed. But Capcom Cup is also falling within this time frame, so maybe he could be revealed there. Now, it has not been officially confirmed by Ono if any characters will get revealed during this time. This is just merely speculation. We'll have to wait for an announcement from him on Twitter and see if that changes. But for now, we're just speculating about these events because we know he likes to reveal characters like he did with Rashid in Dubai and Laura in Brazil, so maybe this is a good possibility. So with all the speculation for the newcomer out of the way, let's move on to the classic character. Now, I have a few ideas of who the character could be, but before we get into that, I wanted to bring up an interview by Matt Dahlgren, who is an employee at Capcom, who in an interview went over some very important things.
All right, looking forward to those next 2 character reveals. Is there anything you can tell us about when we might expect to be able to hear more?
So I've said multiple times, like the way we handled our roster, 16 playable characters to start. 8 of them are classic characters. 4 of them are ones you haven't really seen in a while that have been reimagined, and then 4 are brand new. So in terms of the characters still have to come, there's still 1 classic character, there's still 1 brand new character. You're going to have to wait the coming months to find out who those are.
Could you possibly clarify by what exactly you mean as classic characters? Because a lot of people
give it away entirely. We've
Right.
given a lot of hints, and people that are in the know have been able to follow, and they're pretty smart. But want to keep some mystery around the final reveal.
Right. I was hearing that characters you would expect to see in a Street Fighter game.
Yeah. So, like, you pretty much know what the classic characters are. There's mainstays in the series that are pretty much always present.
That's not limited to Street Fighter 2, is it?
Not necessarily.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's hoping for Sakura personally, but, that's just me.
So there you guys have it. As it was stated many times, it is indeed a classic character, one that you'd expect to see in a Street Fighter game. It's a mainstay character that has always been there. So with that, I do have a few ideas of who this character could be, but I thought it was very interesting that he brought up by saying it's not necessarily limited to Street Fighter 2. So, it could be a classic Alpha character or a Street Fighter 3 character that has been present in many games, although, let's discuss my picks first. So the first character I believe it could be is the one a lot of fans seem to think it is, and that is Dhalsim. Now, the reason a lot of people think that Dhalsim is going to be in the game is because a rumor that came about 3 months ago, where it came out at a time where only 6 characters were revealed, with Ryu, Chun-Li, Bison, Cammy, Birdie, and Nash, and on this rumor leak, whatever you want to call it, it listed 12 additional characters. Now, right off the bat, you could tell that's very fishy because we know we're getting 16 characters on the core roster, and there was a total of 18 characters on this list. And also, Vega was missing, but we know he's in the game. But a lot of people believe it because Zangief was listed, along with Laura, Zen, and Rashid. Also, R. Mika and Kareen were on it, and the last 3 characters were Alex, Urian, and Jury. Now, the reason I find this a little fishy, I couldn't find the exact date of when this rumor popped up, because the story goes it popped up on the Shuriken boards and was deleted 15 minutes later, but the earliest I was able to find it was on July 9th on GameFAQs.com. Now, if this rumor came out on either July 8th or July 9th, and that was the original date, then chances are it's fake, because that info about Alex, Urian, Kareen, and R. Mika, that came out on July 8th on SiliconEra.com, and as we know, that info about Zen, Rashid, and Laura, that came out December of 2014. So because of all this, it just makes me very skeptical about the credibility of this leak. I mean, yes, he got Zangief right, but that could have just been easily a lucky guess. I mean, in my eyes, it kind of just seems like he's piggybacking with the Silicon Era rumor and the leak from 2014, adding Jury, Zangief, and Dhalsim in there and saying this is the roster. It could be true for all I know, and maybe those remaining characters are going to be post-launch DLC, but I think we need a little more information here. If Dhalsim is revealed, okay, maybe he did have some credibility, but yet again, could just be a lucky guess. I'm really not sure. But as far as Dhalsim goes, I think he does stand a good chance, especially that this Indian game show is coming up, which definitely helps to strengthen the argument that he could be revealed, but yet again, it's just merely speculation because Ono has not confirmed a reveal for that particular event. And if he is going to, it could also be Zen. We're just going to have to wait and see, but no doubt Dhalsim would fit that bill of being a classic character. He may not be the most popular one that the fans like, but he's definitely an all-around awesome character. Now on to my number 2 pick, and that is Balrog. And believe it or not, a lot of fans do believe it could be him and have come up with a theory that Bison and Vega have already been confirmed, and Balrog's inclusion would round out Shadaloo, and it would be a nice fit. Yet again, that's not a confirmation, it's only a theory that the fans have come up with that helps his inclusion in the game. Other fans have brought up, well, we have a New York theme stage now, that's in America, Balrog, that could mean him, but yet again, not a confirmation of anything, just more theories by the fans. But no doubt, a classic character, very popular, a lot of fans love playing as a boxer, so it very well could be him, but yet again, all we could really do in the meantime is just wait and see and get more hints from Ono. Now moving on to my number 3 pick, and that would be Sakura. Now, a lot of people seem to think it might be Sakura is because you have Kareen in the game, and if you got Kareen in there, you gotta have Sakura to join her. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. So that's one theory by the fans of why it could be her. And another theory that I actually come up with is not really a good theory, but it's something I thought it was worth mentioning. R. Mika is in the game, and she idolizes Zangief, and we know Sakura idolizes Ryu. It would make a lot of sense. And as you saw before in the interview, it was stated that it doesn't necessarily mean the classic character is from Street Fighter II. So it could be Sakura, although Matt could have just said that. Maybe it's not true. Maybe he could have just said that to throw people off. But Sakura would be a good addition, even though a lot of people see her as just being a clone of Ryu. But as we know, she is very unique in her own ways as well. Now, onto my 4th pick, I would probably give it to Sagat here. Now, Sagat is as classic as they come. He is by far one of the oldest characters in the Street Fighter series, along with Ryu and Ken, and even Birdie before he got the redesign. And he is a character a lot of people seem to think you can't do a Street Fighter game without. And it'd be really cool to see how they take the Master of Muay Thai story in Street Fighter V and what they come up with. As we saw in Street Fighter IV, very interesting story as well. And speaking of the whole story for Street Fighter V, we still have nothing to go by. I mean, a lot of fans have been speculating it could take place in between Street Fighter IV and Street Fighter III's events. Some people have been saying after Street Fighter III, but I guess we'll have to wait and see until we get some more info. And now on to my 5th and final pick with Akuma. And Akuma is by far one of the most popular, well-known, classic characters there is, and I know if he's not in the game in some way, fans will riot. Now, I don't know how his chances are for the core roster, because I know a lot of fans would complain if another Shoto was added, because Ryu and Ken are already in there. So I think Akuma's chances are probably more likely to be post-launch, and I'm 100% confident if he's not part of the core roster, he will definitely be post-launch, but because he is so iconic and very popular, I felt to put him at number 5. Now, like I said, I'm really not sure who's going to take up that final spot, but these are just my top 5 predictions of who could. At this point, I would probably give Dhalsim the best shot because of this Indian game show coming up, but if it's not him, I'd probably have to give it to either Balrog or Sakura for that final spot. But those are just my predictions. Let me know in the comments what you guys think and who do you think will take up that final spot. So with that out of the way, let's talk about a character a lot of fans want to see in Street Fighter V and still think has a good shot, even though some people think he's deconfirmed, and that is Alex. Now, as we found out, Alex is indeed a background character on the New York base stage, which seems to be Metro City, because you can see it says MPD, maybe that's Metro PD, and you can see Mike Hagar's name on there. It's on one of the buildings, but a lot of people seem to think this deconfirmed Alex. But I brought up in the video that they could always do something similar to the small airfield stage in Street Fighter IV, where you saw Balrog, Vega, and Bison in the background, and they would swap out. So Alex, I still think, has a good shot, and Ono actually has brought up Alex's name in an interview, where he stated, quote, "I was made very aware of how much you guys want Alex, so I will definitely take that with me to Japan." Now, this is not a confirmation that Alex will be added at some point, but it gives all us fans some hope that he has a shot. Unless Ono is trolling and he's already planned to be post-launch DLC and Ono's just doing this to mess with people, I have no idea, but I definitely think Alex still stands a very good shot. He's too much of a popular character not to be in this game as DLC. And speaking of post-launch DLC, I'm actually planning to do a top 10 video when the core roster is officially confirmed and we know every character that's in it. I'm going to do a top 10 talking about the characters who I think stand the best shot of being added as post-launch DLC. So look forward for that, but as soon as we get the full roster confirmed, the core roster I mean, I'll get that video out to you guys at that time. And the last thing I want to mention in this video very briefly is I've been thinking about who could possibly be the final boss for Street Fighter V, but I wasn't sure if I should talk about it in this video or do a separate video on it. Maybe I'll do a separate video going more in depth about it, but right now I just wanted to mention a few ideas of who it could be. A few characters I was thinking about, if it's really not going to be Bison, I know a lot of fans have been thinking it could be him, or maybe even Akali. Maybe it could be Zen, maybe that's why they're waiting to reveal this Zen character, because he's going to be the final boss. Or maybe it could be another newcomer we don't know about, and he's going to be an unplayable final boss and not part of the core roster. Or it could be a returning fighter. Maybe, like a lot of fans have been suspecting, maybe Gil could be returning, or hell, maybe it could be Urien and he's going to take over the final boss role. I don't know, just throwing a few ideas out there. Maybe I'll do a video in the future discussing it more in depth, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who do you think could be the final boss in Street Fighter V? Who do you think is going to be the last classic character revealed? Or anything else you guys want to mention, please feel free to. But anyway guys, that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and like always, if you want the latest fighting game news and speculation, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon with a brand new video.